Well, hi, Ariel. How are you? How was today? Fine? Okay. Well, I'm fine also. I'm fine, so don't worry about that. I'm fine. Yeah. Well, let me tell you something. We're going to start. I believe that you are 4 hours less GMT. Is that okay? So is that one? Are you at 9:10? Is that your hour? Is it correct? Yes, so you have probably you have the same scale as me. Okay. Um. Well, we're going to start at 10 tomorrow. Okay, we are going to start at 10 because honestly, I don't know if these people are going to come or not. Okay. Um. But just that it's a question. Okay. Yeah. 10 p.m. Yeah, my time, your time, because we are in the same schedule zone. Okay. Yes, 10 p.m. Will you be able to do it, or is it going to be very late for you? Okay. Yes, we are going to make it from 10 to 2 a.m. That one is going to be. That is the scale. Okay, and from that date onwards, we are going to make it from 10 to 2 a.m. So we are going to work with that schedule. Okay, so that's the scale that I'm going to use for the next sessions. And well, today's session is the fourth session. Um, this is a very interesting session because we are going to make a transition. This transition is going to be about using, for instance, this transition is this one. I'm going to use uh, some techniques of process maker, and that's all. But then after time, I'm going to tell you to do, and that's my purpose. I'm going to tell you to do front end language, back end language, and so on. So we are going to start today with the part of programming. Obviously, this is going to be depending on the time that we have, and depending on that time, we're going to start playing with that data, with that information, and so on. Okay, so let's begin. Yesterday we talked about PM tables. We also talk about not just about PM tables. We talk about report tables, how we can use our tables, and so on. So we decided to talk about this topic. We talk about how we can organize our data, and that's why that we have this type of result. Okay, so I'm going to move here and make this admin. Okay. Well, my excuses. This is a plugin that I was constructing for another group, so I'm going to disable it. I'm going to disable it, and there you have. This is the plugin. This one. So I'm going to use the uh, so I'm going back to the normal thing. Um, Well, so the thing that we are going to do something very interesting today because we are going to close the part of reports. Okay, I'm going to close this part of reports, and well, it's basically that. That's my main objective today to close this chapter of reports. But I wanted to know which one is your idea, your impression about reports. How was it? We did the beginning, a brief of that. We are going to use other two reports. So I wish to know some comments about that. Did you enjoy that? Okay. what is the point of that? I see why my school needs me now. Yeah. Why? Why? In what sense? What is the point of that? What is the idea behind that? Yeah, it's very useful, I know, but in the way that you say that, I'm going to be someone who's, yeah, yeah, take that time. So it happens now, no? When somebody marries with the software, you're indispensable. It's like that happens. I have seen that in many companies. You know something, but just you, it's hard for them to replace you, whatever, because you are in a unique position. And it's like, yeah, but, well, that's another topic. Okay. Yeah, I know. Well, um, okay, but you're learning process maker and pretty well. That's something that uh, I really like about you. Okay, you're paying attention, you answer things, and so on. So it's very nice to have students like you. Okay, it's very nice because they are practical and everything. And sometimes when I correct exams, I'm not only based on what I have seen in the score, so I try to also see how was the productivity of a person in class. So I try to see many aspects for correcting exams, not just the typical numerical based examination that we get used to. So I try to use another alternatives for evaluation. Okay, something that I like is when people invest time in learning something, when people are very interested in that. So I try to be more, not kind, fair. That's the point. Fair. Because we should encourage people. We should encourage people to learn. Well, you make this question. I still don't see the connection between the design and the dynamo. What is it? I don't understand the question. What are you trying to say? What do you mean with that? Oh, well, a dynaform is just an element that you are going to use. Okay, a dynaform is an element that you are going to add to your process. Then you say the first design, the modeling of the process with the three lanes and everything, is just a map. It's just a reference, a map of how your process works. It's the only thing that you have to care about because it's a graphical representation of your activities. But it's important to notice that because if you make some changes, it is going to affect also the flow, the workflow that we use in Process Maker. So it's combined. It's both things. I know that the first session it seems to be not interesting at all because it's pure theory and some things about modeling. Okay, but that's exactly the richness of that we try to interact with some elements in Process Maker, and one of them is going to be the modeling. Okay, the way that we are going to represent reality, the way that we are going to represent our information, our business activities. Another question? Okay, that's fine. Okay, so no questions at all. Yeah. Well, um, let's see. I'm going to start with this. Okay. Well, let's see. I'm going to enter here. Excuse me, to the admin. And I need to make the design of one of the processes. Okay. It is one before the last one because the last one is going to be a very big report. But this one is very special because we are going to see how we can measure the efficiency of employees, processes, and so on. So the name is going to be KPI. KPI stands for Key Performance Indicator. And I will design this report. I'm going to use all the references for this report. So I go to the admin menu and then I move to KPIs. And this is exactly the place where I'm going to create a KPI report. So I'm going to click on New, and there you have. You're going to find a list of fields that you can find here. So I'm going to use this as a strategic dashboard. And the description is going to be, this is the strategic dashboard. Then I'm going to search the owner. The owner, okay, first I'm going to provide the dashboard title and then the description. Both things are going to be input. Okay, I input both things. Then I'm going to look for the owner permission. So the person who is going to be working with this. Okay, so the owner can be the admin user. And there you have. This admin user is going to be able to see information of this type of report, the KPIs. Then here, it's very simple to design a KPI, so it's not magic at all. Okay, it's not something. It's not partial differential equations. Okay, or something even complex in mathematics. So it's very simple. So then I need, once that I have defined the title, the description, then the person, the user who is going to see this report, I need to add indicators. So the first one is going to be this one. The employee efficiency index, this one, and I'm going to put it this, employee efficiency index. Then in here I'm going to add for all the processes. So I'm creating this indicator by selecting the title, then the type of index that I need to use, and then which one is going to be the process where I'm going to apply this indicator. In this case, the employee efficiency index is going to be applied on all the processes. I'm going to use another indicator. This one is going to be the process efficiency index. Then I'm going to select the process. This one is going to be for all processes. Then I'm going to select another process, this one, and in here I'm going to select the inbox status. What it means, this one is going to be a process efficiency index, and this is the indicator type, the process efficiency index. The process is going to be for all the processes. In the question, in the indicator 3, you're going to find this title, the inbox status, and then the indicator type is going to be this one, inbox status. So I'm going to save it. Now our KPI is done. Now if I check here, you can see some of the indicators showing some data. Well, honestly, this is not going to be nice to see if you're going to have 1, 2, or 3 cases. Okay, so I recommend you that if you have 500 cases, this is going to look much better. You're going to have a better picture of everything. So you have the process efficiency index, the inbox status, the employee efficiency index. So all of these are going to be combined and they represent a unique report. You can see here the entire report. Now, let's see something. If I go here, I want to talk about the calculus that is applied for each one of the indicators that we have seen. The calculations associated are going to be shown. Just a moment. I need to search for strategic dashboard. In this strategic dashboard, I'm going to click on this. And there you have the user permissions, the KPI indicators, and some of the things that you need to know. Now, all the calculations are going to be based on obviously mathematical formula. So this one, for instance, process efficiency index, and it says this intelligent index, and it says many things. The most important thing that you have to learn is this: expected time about something to complete the task in the process, and then the average time, and finally the standard deviation. Okay, so that one. Okay, and obviously this is going to represent, according to this numerical data, is going to represent a reference, an indicator of that. So if the expected time is going to be greater than the standard plus the average deviation, okay, it means that we are fine. It means that actually my average time, my real time, is short. But what happens if now the average time is bigger than the expected time? So it means that this is going to be below 1, and therefore you need to make some changes. You need to address it. Okay? In employee efficiency, I'm going to use an expected time and then an average time. Finally, you have here the inbox status, and this one is going to represent the status of the inbox cases. Okay, just that. Do you have any question for this? Is it clear? Well, it's very simple. You have seen that it's not magic. The report is it's very simple to follow and use it. Okay, so no magic at all. You can see that it's very friendly to use some of the reports, the options of them, and so on. So you can start playing a little bit with them to find out information that you require. Well, time to present the last of the reports, the rock star, we can call it, of the reports, the most important of them, data reporting tools. Okay, I'm going to discuss about data reporting tools before making the introduction. Just make a moment. Well, why do we need this type of report? Until now, you have seen some of these reports like the SLA or the KPI or the dashboards. They are going to provide me some metrics. They are going to provide me some measurements. And according to that, I'm going to execute some policies. But there is there is a weakness among these reports. And the weakness is that you can't see further data. You can't make something more customized because they are presenting the data with a main objective. So it's not an ample use. Okay? And that's critical because you go to the KPI and it's already defined and you know that you're going to get some information based on the parameters that you are going to introduce. Same happens when you go to the dashboard. The idea is to measure the current state of things, the current state of cases, and so on. So that's the main point, is that it's going to measure that data, and it has a sense, it has an objective, okay, and it's very specific. So it points to that objective to obtain a report that tells me what is happening. Okay. SLA is not going to be an exception. Actually, this kind of report is going to regard an amount of time, and based on that amount of time, I'm going to take my policies. I'm going to make my decisions. Just that. That's important. It's an important fact to notice that. Okay? Those are the three reports that we have seen. So in data reporting tools, you are going to see a huge difference because a user can create its own reports. It's a more open-minded way to report things, to treat the information. I don't want to use report things. I want to say treat information treatment, because you are going to receive the data. This data is obviously a data that you have to process and do the things, but that's the main point about using this type of reports. Okay, so do you understand what I say? Is I think that it makes sense. I need to follow some steps before entering. Okay, so I'm going to continue just a moment. Okay, okay, that's fine. I like that spirit. It's like sometimes it's nice when you have someone who's going to make the things. Because at least you answer. You're very you have this willingness of learning. Yeah. Well, okay, let's start it. Data reporting tools. First of all, if we go here, let me tell you the data reporting tools is a plugin, and it is an enterprise plugin. There you have. This is the plugin. I'm going to upgrade it. Data reporting tools is a plugin. Okay, so it is a tool, and now it's time to make. Well, I'm going to start using data reporting tools. First, I need to upload data. So I need to upload a table. Let's bury the moment. Okay, I move it here to settings. Then you have this, the PM table here. And I'm going to import it. Well, I have downloaded that report table, so it has some data. You can do it with a report table as well. Okay, data reporting tools is used for both, for PM tables and also for report tables. Okay, actually this it is this one. It's this table. It has 150 data records. Okay, so you can see the data here. Okay. So now let's use it. When data reporting tools is active, you're going to find it in home. Now in the home interface, you're going to find something that says data reporting tools. And it has three options: scope, report designer, and report user. So why do I need these three options? Why do I need these three options, because the first one is going to be a scope, and the scope is that to create a report I need a set of data. I need to use a table, bring a table, or bring many tables, and define a set of a set of data, a universe of data. Okay, and based on that scope, which is a set of data, I can create reports, many reports. So I'm going to click on scope. Okay, let's bear a moment. But if it's not possible to make it from the host, I'm going to make it from the virtual machine, okay? And I think that I have time to do it too. And I'm going to move to the virtual machine and start working in the virtual machine directly. Oh my god, so slow. Okay, so I'm going to move to activities, then this one. So I'm going to move here. Now let me see if I can take it from here. Okay, I'm going to enter the process maker from here. Just a moment. Okay, and here also. I'm going to log in it. Okay, I'm going to log in it. And in here, I'm going to start using the data reporting tools. I'm going to click on the scope. Can we wait a few minutes before starting? Okay, we have the scope. Yeah, the scope, as I said, is a set of data from which I'm going to use it as a resource to create all our reports. So in this case, if I'm going to click on create here, I'm going to use the scope name, and this is going to be sales scope. And I'm going to write a description. This is going to be, this is a sales scope. And I'm going to click on next. It is the first tag and it's going to provide me some information. Once that I enter the name, oh my god, I forgot to tell you. Now you can see Ariel, is it correct? But what I did is to go to scope. Is that fine? I went to scope, then I defined the sales scope and this description. Based on that, I click on next, and then it showed me another thing here. It showed me the tables that I'm going to use to construct the set of data, because that's actually the scope. It is the set of data. From the drop down, I'm going to select this one, the data, and for instance it's going to be this one, sales. I'm going to click on this, and by clicking on this, I'm clicking on all the columns that you can find here. The column of customer segment, region, quantity, order priority, order date, day, customer name, product container, product name, order date, month, and so on. So I selected, by selecting here, I selected all the columns from the table that I have selected above, this one. So I'm confirming that I'm going to use all the columns, okay? All these columns are going to be used. So all these columns are going to be selected. Now, notice this. I have here, everything is fine, but in here you are going to find something called add filter. The add filter allows me to enter some, well, the word is not discrimination, because that's more, that word is more for social ground. Well, I'm going to create a subset of data by using the filter. So I'm going to use here the PMT sales, then a column. The column can be, for instance, quantity, and then I can make it, this column I want to make it more than this price, for instance. The filter that you have here tells me from the PM sales, in the quantity column, I want just to obtain the values that are more than the quantities that are more than 4,500. So I'm going to save this and see with a preview what is that, but I don't have anything at all. I'm going to erase this, see the preview of data, this one, and there you have. So I'm going to make it more than 1 to 5. 1 to 5. I'm going to save it, this, and then I'm going to make the preview here. This is the preview. So I have designed to make some from all the data. I have reduced it in some of the data. Okay, the 125, 130, both things. So that's the filtering. From the same data, I can start making even I can create a subset of data. I'm going to move here. Okay, I'm going to move in there. Just a moment, please. Okay, so you're going to see this in the preview. But this way of creating a filter is called wizard. So it's going to be more an executive way to do it. But if you want to do the raw thing, you click on here, then you click on yes, and then you're going to see the madness of using many of these queries, all of them interacting and creating the data, but the query is going to show me the data. So that's the point. You can use it as that way. But filters are not going to be just the typical ones. We can use, let me go back to the filter. We can use a filter for different conditions that we can apply here, like equal, like, distinct, and so on. So there are many of these conditions. Okay, let me select the sales and all of this here. Now I'm going to click on next here. Then you have the report users. What is the idea of using a report user? We basically find this idea because we want users who are going to be part of this report. They are going to see this report. They are going to be participants of this report. Okay, so I'm going to select the group employees and the admin. Okay, the admin user. By now I want that because on the next step I'm going to show you what is my intention of showing you that. I make them drag and drop here, and then finally the admin user in here, both of them. There you have report users. So it means that the users that you find here are going to be able to use this information based on that in the employees and in the administrator user, both of them. I'm going to click on next here, and then report designer is going to just a moment, I didn't show you that, my excuses. Okay, I am here. This part of tables, did you understand, Ariel? Was it clear or not? Could you understand the part of tables? Yeah. So in here, in report users, I selected employee and administrator. Why both? Because administrator belongs to the group of employees. Okay, that's the first thing that you have to remember. Another thing that you have to remember is that, well, I'm going to show you why I'm selecting here, because in the next part when I create the report, you're going to see why I use this. But both are going to be participants of this report. It means they can see the report. The report designers are going to be the people who are going to design the report. And there you have. This first part has been finished. That's the scope. But what happens if I need to make some additions? If I go to tables and I select another table, you're going to notice that it's possible to add other tables. So I can select the information and I can make even some joins if necessary. So I can apply some joins of both tables and then they are going to be connected. Joined, connected. That one. Okay, so that's the scope. Is it clear? Did you understand, Ariel? Okay. Well, let's see the report designer. It is this one. Okay, report designer is going to be a little bit different because actually we have the scope. It means that we have our data prepared to be used. Well, the scope is just the designer is just to make a report and create some reports for that. Okay, so how does it work? Let's see. I'm going to click on create here and select the scope here. Then add some report name. Then you have the report description. This is a sales report. And then you have the available columns here. Let's select them. Here I'm going to add the tables here. The first one is going to be quantity. Then you have this one, and this is going to be customer name. Okay, the point is this one. You're going to have the list of columns that you have selected from the scope. Okay, now you have here a list of available columns. When I check each one of the columns, I need to add an alias. Why? Imagine that I select quantity, priority, product name, okay, then month, product name, for instance. And let's see that I make the preview. So this really looks horrible. It's not something that you can't show data by using this PMT sales quantity. Okay, it's like, where is the beauty of that? Nothing at all. Okay, so what we have taken care in Process Maker is to use an alias for that purpose. So I'm going to move here, and it is going to be quantity, this one, then priority here, then here you are going to have the customer name, then you have the product name here, then the order date month or the month directly. Okay, you can also add a filter, but you have seen that filter is the same. But I can apply a filter if I'm going to select the month and I want this to be December, for instance. So it is going to be this one, the way that I'm going to display the data. Let's see what happens in the preview. There you have. Just December is going to be involved here. Okay, well, nothing more that we can talk about this part of tables in the report designer. But now let's go to report users. I'm going to make the next. I'm going to click it here, and there you have. This is interesting. Did you remember that I said that I am going to assign employees and the administrator, both of them, employees and administrator? And this is something that I have shown you before, that I have done this type of assignment. Now, what does it mean? That I can take this one and move it here, and this one also I'm going to take it here, and there you have. If you remember, the employees group and the administrator user both have been selected previously, and there you have here the assigned users. So I'm going to make the management here, click, then click the add manager, and this one is going to be the employees, but this is not correct. Okay, I'm going to click on here, and I'm going to make it this the manager of the employees. I can do this because the administrator belongs to the employees. Okay, and something more. Since the administrator is going to be the manager of the group employees, it means that he can see his own report and the report of the rest of the members of this group. I'm going to click on next. And there you have. Finally, the most important thing of the entire construction of reports, I'm going to talk about the gadgets. What is a gadget? Why do I need a gadget? A gadget is a representation. It can be a table, it can be a graphic. It depends on you. Okay, so it can be a table, it can be graphic. It's something that it's a representation. That's the only thing that you have to understand, is how we represent things. I'm going to use it here, and the first one is going to be a table. Then I'm going to show you three of these fields: the group, the page size, and the default order. Okay, I'm going to group the things here by using a priority. Okay, then I'm going to show the data in 10 records, 10 observations, 10 data are going to be presented in the table. Each page is 10, 10, 10. The default order is going to be based on the product name. But once I select this default order, I can make it ascending or descending in an alphabetical order. So it's going to be an ascending order based on the Latin alphabet. Since this happens, I can add another filter, but it's not necessary. I have explained you what is the filter. I'm going to click on preview, and there you have. This is the preview of the report. Data is beautifully grouped in high and low priorities, and this is the organization. You can see the ascending order of this is going to be express there. Okay, the product name, case, custom, data, multiple, power up, and so on. The same as here. So it's going to be this type of data organized in ascending order according to the parameters that we have defined in this section. It is like that. But this is the preview. I want to see the report as it is. So I'm going to finish this and move it here to the report user, because I care about the report. I want to see it. So I'm going to click on view report. And now you can see the final report. It is this one. I can take out the priority and make again the grouping by dragging and dropping here this option. Or maybe based on the customer name, I can drag and drop it, and it's going to show me information. I can make some sort. I can sort the things in ascending or descending order. Then I can export it in Excel, PDF, or CSV, and you can see the data. Then I'm going to click on return here. Well, that's the way that I can present the report. It has the opportunity to download something, show it, and so on, so you can start working with that. Okay, that's the report. Yeah, did you like it? Did you like it? Yeah, it's a lot, I know. I know. Well, that's why I spend a lot of time doing this, okay? Because I know this report is really long, you have to dedicate some time. Let me show you the other representation form, the graph, okay? Now you're going to get it real, yeah? Because there is a lab to practice. Now I'm going to change this. The next one is very easy because I don't need to make some um, I don't have to make some uh, I don't need to make something very unusual, okay? It's the same thing. So I'm going to prepare the report by clicking on these checkboxes. Priority, customer name, I need to know the month, the product name, and finally the quantity, it is this one. I'm going to use the alias, order priority also. This is going to be the customer name. This is going to be the product name, the order date month, and so on. Based on that, I'm going to move to next. Apply this and this, and make it this as a manager, something that we have said before. Then click on next here, and there you have. I'm going to use a chart here. In the chart type, it's a graphic representation. I'm going to select the type, and it can be an horizontal bar. In labels, I need to measure the quantity of product name. And in series, I need numerical data. So I'm going to use it quantity. I can make the preview. And there you have. Well, obviously, this is going to be a lot of information. So I'm going to make here in tables a kind of a strategy. I'm going to filter some data. And I need just from December, okay? Because I have a lot of data there and it's not necessary to use it all. I move to report users, then gadget. I'm going to take the chart, the horizontal one. The label is going to be product name, and the series is going to be the quantity. Now you are going to see the preview. It's a lot, it's still a lot. Okay, you have the product name. Maybe the customer. It's a lot of information. Just a moment. I'm going to see the tables, okay? I want to reduce some information. Oh, we didn't apply our... That's why it didn't work. So we didn't apply our filter. I'm going to save it. Now we can go to the gadget and move to the chart. Then this one is going to be okay, the product name, and make the preview. But it's still like that. Well, the point is this one. You're going to get a plenty of information. Let me see if this is working very well. Okay, it's not adding a filter. That's the reason. That's why. Okay, I'm going to apply this again. Order date. I'm going to save it. Then I'm going to click on next. That's the way that it's saved. Yeah, you have to click on next. Now it's saved the configuration. I move to charts, horizontal type. This is going to be product name, and the series is going to be quantity. Then I click on the preview, and there you have. This is the sales report chart. Now I'm going to finish this. Then I'm going to click on the report user, and there you have. This is the report. Did you understand? The label is going to be, well, the series that you are going to put is the numerical date. Yeah, that's fine. You understood well. Final thing that I'm going to say. But for this, I'm going to use here the PHP This is going to be root, and here I'm going to enter process maker. Okay. In here, in the tables, when I create a report or even a scope here, let's see this. I create any scope. Example. Okay. And click on next. Then I select the table, and you're going to see that I have five tables. These tables belong to our process maker. So if I go here, these five tables are going to be found here. But what happens if I go here to this part and select this kind of table? Oh, excuse me, if I want to select a table from this part, for instance this one, application, you can't see there, but there is a way to interact with these tables. So I need to go here to this part, to files, and the way that I add is that I will go through all these to a path of process maker. This one, OPT, process maker, workflow, engine, okay, then plugins. So I'm moving to a file that allows me, I'm going to modify this file, and with this file I'm going to be able to add some information. Okay, so it's going to be this one, data reporting tools. Okay, and then config. This file in this path, okay, has this information, but first of all I need to be this file, the white tables list, to have this extension. Now with this file I can enter tables that I can find in my database. So I can make double click here, open this one, and then enter this table. I'm going to click on here and enter application here. application, and then I'm going to save it. Now I'm going to re-enter to the scope, make the definition, go here to tables. Okay, or maybe I'm going to edit this, go to tables, and now you can see that application can be found here. So with this file, application is a table that you find in the database, and this action of using data reporting tools with that advantage was done by this file, white tables list. Is it clear? Did you understand? Is it clear? Okay, that's fine. Time to work. Let's do this lab and this quiz. Are you there? Okay, 15 minutes for the lab and the quiz. 15 minutes. It should be, let me see which one is the name, okay? Uh, well, this should be like this, okay? And when you upload it, when you import it and upload it, the name of that file should be just a moment, okay? This one. Well, it's the file that you upload, that's all. Okay? And then you upload it. Could you do it in the host or not? Well, I can make the review, then just show me that you succeeded to upload that file, and then we are going to discuss about it. Okay? Okay. Well, just tell me if you succeeded to upload the file. Christian Austin, hello. Okay, just let me know. Then I'm going to make a brief summary of this half time, and then we have a break, okay? Okay, you can't access to the host either. It's very strange. You should check. Maybe it's a download of the file or whatever, because I could upload normally, okay, with no problem. So you should check it on your own. I'm going to make a brief review. Do you agree, guys? Yeah. Okay, I'm going to make a review of everything. Okay. Okay. Let's make the brief review. Um, Hello, Christian. How are you? Fine. Okay. I'm going to start with this. In the first part of today's session, if you need to take your time a little to start also playing a little bit to upload your file, just do it, okay? Don't worry about that. Just you can use the host and so on, because I'm going to make the review and I think that you followed all the instructions. So I'm going to prepare everything for that. Well, we have first talk about this report, the strategic dashboard, okay? In such dashboard, we saw all of this. The title, the dashboard title, then this description. Finally, we add a user who is going to be the owner, the administrator for that. And there you have the employee, the inbox, and the process efficiency. The three of them are going to be extremely important, okay? And let me know that here I'm using three types of indicators. The first one is this, employee efficiency index. The other one is an inbox status. And the last one is this one, process efficiency index, okay? So in each one of them, the process efficiency index, the inbox status, the employee efficiency index, okay, the three of them, you are going to find some indicator, the employee efficiency, well, all of it. So in here, what I try to do is to present you all of these indicators, the indicator title, the indicator type, and so on. So all of them are going to measure a quality, going to measure something inside our process maker instance. Okay, this is the report. You can see here, and here you have the dashboard title, and the description is this one. Okay. When everything is defined, let me show you that these measures have their own corresponding mathematical formula, that we can call it like that. So you're going to see that, for instance, for process efficiency, I have used an expected time to complete the tasks in the process, then an average of actual time to complete the tasks in the process, and finally a standard deviation. All of this is going to be the process efficiency index. And it is this one, the process efficiency index. Then you have the inbox, and the inbox is going to tell you this is the description. It says this option displays the status of the inbox cases. Is this one. Then you have this one, and it says employee efficiency index, employee efficiency index, and this one is going to use this type of data, this type of formula, where you have the expected time to complete the tasks assigned to the employee, and then the actual time to complete the task assigned to the employee. So I have used all of these. The T sub E and T sub A, both of them are going to be measured there. And there you have all of this. Okay, so this is the KPIs. Well, it's one of the reports that we use if we want to show here the results. But obviously this is not going to work because we have around 1 or 2 cases. So it's not enough to show the power of a KPI. But we have at least 500 cases. This is going to be fantastic because I can use a lot of information. I can use the data in an accurate way. Okay, so that's the KPI. That's the purpose of the KPI. Let's follow the next step. Okay, we have this. Then let's move to the today's lesson. It was the data reporting tools. Let me know you that this is a data reporting tools is applied, and it's part of the enterprise plan. So you can take this one and use it installed. So that's the data reporting tool. Done. In here, the data reporting tool, in data reporting tools, we are going to use this as, okay, I have the data reporting tools, and this is going to be enabled here in home. In home, you are going to find here the scope. So in data reporting tools, you are going to have 3 steps. The first, you are going to design the scope. Then you are going to design the report, and finally you are going to see the reporting user. Could you succeed, Arian? Finally, could you succeed with that? Okay, I will continue. The scope is a set of data. Okay, I have an answer here. Okay, that's fine. That's fantastic. Okay, that's fantastic. I'm going to finish this. Oh, okay, maybe the extension. That was the problem. The extension. Okay, that's a problem. Let me finish a little of this brief review. Then I'm going to give you some minutes because I'm going to enter into break. And with this break, you can finish the data reporting tools and the quiz. And after the break, we are going to correct the quiz, and then you can make me any question of this part. But let me finish this part, okay? Until it's going to be o'clock, okay? Let me finish that. So you have this. The scope, it is, let's put it this way. When we talk about the scope, we talk about the set of data that we require, and this set of data, the scope set of data, this scope allows you to prepare an amount of data, a set of data from which with which I can construct some of these. I can construct reports based on that, and that's what we do. We upload the file, and this file was a PM table. So in here in the scope, first I define the scope name, then the scope description. Both of them I use them. I use them the scope name and then the scope description, and well, just that, the scope and the scope description, and then I used here the tables, and there you have the tables are going to be this. Okay, let's select the table you're going to find here by clicking on it, and there you find a set of well, I'm just playing a little bit with the column here, the column, the case length, and so on. So I'm going to use this table here. Okay, so we have the columns here, and well, this is I decided to select all the columns. If you remember, I can use some filters to prepare everything here. I prepared all the to make it from the subset the scope. I can define another subset to prepare the fields, and then I can use some report users, report designers. Okay, so I can assign these functions. Let me remind you the report designer. In the report designer, when everything is defined, you can select the scope, then define the report name, then the report description, and here we can enter the tables. In the tables, we are going to define all of these, the quantity, the customer names. I'm selecting them and adding here an alias. So now is this alias the most important thing. So I entered to this part, okay, and the alias is a nice way to show the name of the column, okay, because the PNT underscore sales dot quantity doesn't, well, it tells me something, but it's horrible, you know. You can use the alias as more human readable, and well, when that happens, you can use also a filter, and I have applied here a filter, this one. Then you move to report users, you assign your users and so on, the manager, and finally you use some gadgets. The gadgets are going to tell you the reports that you can see. It can be these kind of report and so on. So we close this part of reporting, and let's go back to the methodology of BPM. Okay, you are going to model a process, design, then you run cases. Okay, we haven't done that yet. We haven't run any case at all. But when you run cases, you generate data, and that's extremely important to understand. You generate data. Okay, listen to me. You generate data, and this is going to be data that can be treated. Data that can be treated by some tools that we use in Process Maker. Okay, that's the main point of that. But do you understand my purpose of this? Do you understand that? What I try to say with this? Okay. Well, so that's the main point of using that. Then you treat data with the report, and then you can optimize. It means that you are going to make some decisions, you're going to be in charge of that, and so on. Okay? Okay. Let's make a break, 20 minutes of break. You can do the labs that you need to do, or just to update everything. Okay? Can we take this break? 20 minutes. Okay, that's fine. See ya. How was break? How was your break? Fine? Hello? Okay. Okay, Ariel, could you succeed with everything? Could you succeed? Okay, but just a problem. So did you finish the lab? we can go and do it together. I'm going to choose this and use a quiz. Okay. Um, let's do it together. It says, question 1. While adding a new field to a PM table structure, it's possible to define the size, the type, okay, the field name, the field label. Question 2 says, it's possible to include an SQL query in a variable definition. True. Question 3, it says, it's possible to define multiple dependent fields related to the same web control. True. Question 4 says, report tables export case data to be easily queried into Dynaform fields and shared with external reporting tools. Question 5 says, it's possible to use data from a PM table to define the set of options in a drop-down web control. Yes, true. Question 6, it's possible to export the PM table data as a CSV file. True. Okay, I think that with that we are done. Okay, so I succeeded with this. Yeah, well, I want to introduce you to another topic. Let me make a brief introduction to something that we are going to do. You know that we use Dynaforms, and Dynaforms has been an important thing. Okay, we talk about Dynaforms, and well, a Dynaform is a type. It's a type of file. That's a Dynaform. Now, my intention of this is to provide you another insight. It's not about Dynaforms. I'm going to talk about input and output documents. Both of these things are going to be used, input and output documents. So what I need you is to let's focus on this. You know that in Process Maker, it's very important. This is very important to tell you. It's very important to have structure where I can upload the file. I mean, an input document. Okay, an input document is going to give you a file structure, and in this set of parameters, I'm going to introduce a file. It can be a PDF copy, it can be an XML file, or it depends on the type of file that we want to enter. So many extensions are allowed. But let me remember that for the existence of that file, I necessarily need to use I need to use the input document structure. And that's why the Process Maker provides this type of option. An output document, on the other hand, is very different because you're going to create a document. Notice that you're going to actually create a document. The output document is going to receive some parameters. That's important. You receive the parameters, and then you're going to introduce some HTML statement there. The HTML statement is going to be an introduction. It's not an introduction. An HTML code is going to provide me many things. For instance, but it's HTML. You know what I mean. So in HTML, You can add some tags for images, for tables, for many things. That's the only thing that you have to care about. How you can use input documents and output documents. And both of them are going to have their own ways to interact. Okay, and in today's sessions, I'm going to explore that: how to use input documents, how to use output documents, in which situations it's important to use one of them. So just that, we are going to explore all these kind of ideas today. Okay, so let's begin with that. In Process Maker, you have to go here to the designer and then open one process like this one. Now, an input document, okay, is going to show this like this one. Let me show you. I'm going to introduce this as an input document. Let me enter here and click on this on create. So you are going to have this window, and in such window it's important to add the parameters that I require to add an input document. Okay, so I need the title, the document type, the description, enable versioning, destination path, and so on. So you're going to have all of this here. So what you need to do is to enter the title first, and the title is going to be input document. Then you have the document type. It can be a digital one, a printed one, or a digital unprinted. Okay, so this is the name. It can be any name. Okay, but the most important thing of this name is that it should represent the purpose of your process. So in this case, I'm adding the input name. Then I say this is going to be the document type. The document type that I use is the digital printed. Actually, is that one that I need. Okay, and then the format is going to be the original. Okay, then I need a description for this file. Well, in the format it can be original, legal copy, and copy. In here I need a description, and this can be: this is an input document for Process Maker. I know that it doesn't make sense, this description, but it's necessary to use it for these input documents. Then in here I can enable the version. So I can make many of these versions of this input document. Then I'm going to write the destination path. The destination path can be input document. Okay, and if I want to make a destination path, because the point is that if I'm going to enter input documents to this section, okay, I need to have a path where to put all this information. So I'm going to select this one, use it here, and it can be, for instance, a username. Insert it. There you have. Then you have a tag. The tag is going to be input. Then you have this, it's allowed file extensions, use allow. Okay, this tag I need it. It can be another one, for instance, search. It can be that the tag. The point is that when I create this input document, it's going to be part of our database. So I need a tag because it makes easier for me to search it. Okay. Then you have this thing and it says allow file extensions, use point and asterisk to allow any extension. So what you can see here, it means that this input document is going to accept any of the extensions that we have. This one, it says maximum file size, use 0 if unlimited. If I write 0, this is going to make it unlimited. Then you have the unit, and the unit can be kbytes or megabytes. So I'm going to use megabytes in this sense. And there you have, I'm going to save it. Now notice this. In here, I am adding this username. And I use the @ and number sign, okay, the sharp. Why I use this? Because when we use this type of prefix for a variable, it means that it's not going to be shown in quotation marks. Quotation marks are going to be out of that. That's why that I use this type of prefix, the @ and the sharp. Okay. Going to save it, and there you have. The input document is going to be this one. But let me show you how this behaves. I'm going to close it and show you another example. Okay, now in here I'm going to add this. For instance, let's see the input document. I have all of this that I enabled. And this input document that I have designed, I'm going to make a matching with this. The attached file, this one, is going to have this property, input document. So what it means that any file that I'm going to attach here is going to be shown in the input document. Okay, so this is the way that I can communicate an input document and a Dynaform by using this web control with the features that we need. Now, in this case, attach file and so on. Okay, so it's a way that you can start playing a little bit with that. Now I'm going to make the proofs of this. I'm going to make assignment rules here. I need to test it, okay? Then you have here the gateways, and there you have. I'm going to click on it and then make it steps here, and we have the report form, the Dynaform. Then I'm going to click on the steps, and the file that I'm going to upload on the previous task is going to be transferred to this copy of invoice input document. So let's move it to home and click on new case. Okay, when you have this, you have to go here to your database. Let me show you. This is a typical case that you solve like this. You go to this directory, then you say, okay, process maker, database upgrade. Okay, now let's see if that one works. Okay, it does work. Now, I don't want to add all the details for this. I'm just going to add the file here. And this file is going to be shown in the next Dynamo. So I'm going to click here and submit it. Then click on approve of invoice here. And there you have, the title is this one and it's shown here. The creator is this one. I can see the versions and I can use one of them to upload it. This I use it because it shows me a possibility to communicate the Dynaform with an input document, and I have shown you that there is a property for that, so you can explore it on your own. Now you can see here the version history, and in the version history you are going to find all of this: the title, the version, the creator, the created date. Okay, and well, that's the way that you can see a copy of invoice. That's a copy of invoice in action. So the configuration was necessary because you need to show some parameters where we are going to, with these parameters, we are going to experience the way that we can access the information, the experience of entering all that information into Process Maker. Okay, so it has a boundary of entering that information. Okay, so that's an input document. Now let's see the case of the database. Let's see that. You know that the tag is search, so we should find that. Let's make the PHP myadmin here. There you have it. And let's see it. Okay, it's input document, this one. Now in input document, what you need to find is this, the search. The search is the input document that I need to, if I want to search my input document, it depends on the tag that I use. In this case, I use the tag search, and you can see that it's easily recovered, so no problem to recover that data. It's easily to make this recover. Okay, let's go for the next document. Okay, the next document is a little bit different, but it has the same concept, same idea. it is the output document. So for such case, I'm going to move here to the admin, and then I'm going to move here to package delivery, and in here I'm going to click on this and create it. There you have it. This is going to be output document. Then I have a file name generated, and this one is going to be file name, and then I can enter here by adding this variable picker. Click it, then click it here, then you have the username here, and insert the variable. Then here a description, and it says this is an output document. Then you have the report generator, and it is this one, TC-PDF or HTML to PDF, but I'm going to select this one because the other one does no longer exist. So I'm going to select this report generator. Then in here I can enter the media and orientation of our work here. Okay, so here you have the letter, and actually here I'm saying that this is going to be the size that I need, the letter. Then you have the portrait or landscape. So I'm defining the type of orientation that I need for this output document. In this part of margins, I can select the margin of left, right, top, and bottom. The output document to generate is this one, both. And then the PDF security is going to be disabled. Okay, no problem with that. I can enable the versioning. I can use some destination path, and the destination path is going to be, for instance, output document slash, and here I'm going to click it, and it is this one, the destination path, and here the username. Then I'm going to use the tag. The tag can be, well, anything, so I'm going to make it the tag as training. That's the tag that I use here, and this is going to be helpful. As I said, for the input document, I'm going to use a tag because it's easier to search information when you have a clear tag. Okay, then you have this, and it says, by clicking on the generated file link, I download the file. I'm going to save it. But this that we have done is just what we can call it. It is just the parameters that we add for the creation of the output document. So I'm going to enter now to this part called Open Editor. Now what is this? In the output document, you are going to find all of these tools that you find here. The upload file, the add to sharp, the B, the I, the U underscore. So all of this is going to be part of the output document. So what you need is to use some HTML code, and that's something that we are going to do. I click here, and then in here I can add some code to make some uses of that. That's the HTML source editor. Okay, so that's the point. I'm going to click here, this. Okay, so I'm going to add some code, some HTML code. The point is this one: we have an editor of HTML code, and this is going to be universal for other documents that I'm going to show you. But by now, just focus on the HTML code editor that we have for output documents. So I'm going to copy this and then save it here. Now you can say, what does it mean this? Well, you can notice all of this, how we can use this information. But the most important thing, I'm going to make an F11 here and update it. Okay, I am including here, this one is the logo, okay, and if you look to the through the HTML code experience, you can see that we have input here in new logos and so on. So I'm going to update it here, and there you have is the proof of payment, the send by, the email, and so on. In here we can add the send by, and I can add a name, for instance. Then this is going to be an email. Then for address, look at this. I'm going to use the variable picker. This prefix allows me to include something, but at means that that value is going to be between quotation marks. If I look at this, the second one is going to allow me to use it for string but without quotation marks. This is for floating numbers. And finally, this type is going to preserve, that's the point, is going to preserve the data. Okay? Okay, that's the way that we interact. Let me remind you, the parsing of this value with this prefix maintains the same structure that it has. In this case, I'm going to use this one, and I need it for address. Then you have the invoice date. Okay, well, it can be any date. So delivery date, I'm going to use it, and then the amount paid. Okay, so I'm going to save it. There you have. We have both things, the output document and the input document. Let's try to make some changes here. I'm going to click on home. Okay, and click on new case. And in here, if we can go back to invoice process, you are going to notice that there is something called the proof of payment. I'm just going to force the conditions to make run a case. Okay, so we are going to start that. Going to click on new case here, click on invoice approval process, and let's make it here whatever. Okay, then here the date, then the due on receipt. Well, this is a demo, so I'm not going to start filling in all the fields that I have here in this diamond. So I'm going to add this and add any of these values, for instance this one, and then submit it. Then click on continue. Then double click here. And in here I can use a new version to include a new file, or I can make the download. But now I'm going to see what is happening with the output document. So I'm going to click on next here. Then the approval must be yes. I'm going to submit that. Okay, and it says process definition. Okay, I know it. The configuration is important. So I'm going to click here and make this configuration as cyclical. Okay, it's fine. Okay, I'm going to force this to pay invoice. And let's move back. I'm going to click on next step. And this one is, I can click on yes. Now the next one is going to be the pay invoice. And I want you to pay attention to the type of file that we are going to face. Let's click it. This is because of the configuration. I enable both to be present here. So I'm going to click on PDF. And there you have proof of payment. You can see here that some of these fields have been already populated because I just follow the conditions that you find there, with the parameters and with the design of this output document. You're going to find all of these filled in. That's the output document. You can download it in PDF. Okay, just that. You can download it by just using PDF. I'm going to click on next and then finish this one. There you have. I finished that one and then I click on next. Just that. Now, where are my files? If I move to documents, you're going to see plenty of files here. The proof of payment here, or the reported invoices here. Okay, so you can see a list of documents here found. It is this one. Okay, so all the files that I find here, the proof of payment, then the the reported invoices is another one. The input and output documents, both of them are going to be found here in these folders that you can see here. In these folders, you're going to see all of these files. Okay. So did you understand, Ariel? Is it clear enough? It's not hard. It's very easy to understand this part. Um, by making a very brief summary. Um, what I did, I just took some information. In the input document, I just added some parameters. That's something that you have seen. By changing some of these parameters, I started to work on it. Just that. Okay, I added some parameters, making some modifications, and so on. Just that. Okay, so no, something difficult. It's not it. Even I can show you how was it. I was here, then in the PM in the package delivery, I created this input document, this one, and it has the document type and so on. So a set of fields that I needed to enter. So no problem about that. You saw that there is also the version history and so on. So many of these that allow you to see your work, okay? Allow you to understand all of this. Okay, we basically do that. Oh, that's the use of um, all this stuff, you know? Okay, so in the case of the output document, there is no difference at all because you are going to prepare the parameters, and these one are going to be these parameters are going to be inserted in the file for output documents, and then you need to add some extra design. So what it means this, that you go here to output documents, you're going to face this file, and finally you are going to open this editor and start making the design of everything in this proof of payment. Okay, so I did with that, we close this chapter. It's very short, this chapter. Okay, so I'm going to move it here. Okay, move it to the advanced architect, this one, and let's search for this section, input and output documents. I need you to do this lab and this quiz. Okay, 15 minutes for that, the lab and the quiz. Okay, that's fine. See ya. Hello, did you finish? Ariel? Okay, it was very short. I'm going to check the quiz with you. Let's make the quiz. It says it's not possible to set an input document file size as unlimited to unlimited. False, you can do that. While creating a new input document, it's possible to enable file versioning, define maximum file size, set allowed file extensions. Question 3 says, an output document template can include, select one or more, custom HTML code, custom PHP code here, no, system variables, images, case variables. Output documents can be generated as doc files and PDF files. Question 5 it says, it's possible to reference system and case variables into output documents. True. I'm going to do this. Okay, that's fine. Okay, and how was with this? Quiz? Did you do it as did that way, or very different? See? Okay, yeah, it was easy. It's not hard to make it. Yes, you're right. Well, previous considerations. I'm going to review one example of JavaScript. After that, I'm going to make an entire review of all. Why do I need JavaScript? In Dynaforms, you can add JavaScript, and this, as a consequence of that, well, the point is this one, that you're going to make front-end design, and that is because you use JavaScript. JavaScript is going to allow you to do this front-end design. It is basically that. And well, just that. We are going to make an introduction for that. I'm going to solve the problem with this JavaScript introduction and call it. Or maybe instead of making the review, I can leave you with an exercise. I can leave you with a lab because it's very simple lab, as you're not going to take a lot of time. And okay, so let's see what is going to happen. Okay, maybe I'm going to make the review, or just to send you the lab and then you start to work with that, with the lab. Okay, so it's up to you. Well, it's not up to you, it's up to the time. Okay, so let's begin with JavaScript. JavaScript is a front-end language. The purpose of this unit is not to teach you how to use JavaScript. Okay, we do not want to teach how to use JavaScript, this has to be, you have to bear in mind that it's important to know that we are not going to teach you how to use JavaScript. The objective is very different, and well, just that. Let's begin. I'm going to create here a Dynaform. I'm going to use a Dynaform here, and it's going to be a JavaScript example. And then I'm going to save and open this. Okay, and in here I'm going to provide some examples. Just okay. I'm going to introduce here two things. This drop down. I'm going to use in here a contractor variable. And I'm going to enter the settings as yes. And this one is going to be no. And I'm going to apply that and save it. And here I'm going to click this one and say the label as contractor. Then I'm going to use another web control. It is this text box called contractor name. Okay, and the settings, okay, it's fine. I'm going to save it. This one is going to be the label as contractor name. Then I'm going to use here a submit button. This one. I'm going to enter submit. Then by clicking here, I'm going to click on this JavaScript edit button, and there you have. I'm going to enter here a code. Okay, and the technique that I'm going to use to identify the ID of that web control is called well, it's not called, it's I'm going to use a library called jQuery. Oh, how knowledgeable are you, Ariel, in JavaScript? Ariel, Christian, how knowledgeable are you? Yeah, so my point is this one. I'm going to make many examples of JavaScript, okay? Yeah, I'm going to make some examples. And as an extension of that, because you are going to practice this, I'm going to show you an Ajax example tomorrow, okay? As an extra and an addition, some extra material, okay? So that's my point of view of doing this. I want to show you some examples. Well, just that is the only comment that I have here. Okay, so I'm going to continue. Let's write the code. It says function. Okay, I have the function here. and then this is going to be show or hide description, and in this I'm going to use this one, and I'm going to say if this is going to be contractor, then I'm going to get the control, then the value here, and I want to make it is equal to 1. Okay, and then I'm going to use this as contractor name, then you have show here, then you put it this as else, then another contractor name, okay, and I'm going to hide it, and then I'm going to close this, then this function I'm going to use it here, I'm going to copy this one and paste it here, this one show or hide description, then make this one, okay, and then I'm going to enter this contractor, okay, then here some change, okay, so I have the code. Let's see how it behaves. I'm going to save it here, make the preview. There you have. If it's no, this title disappears. If it's yes, it appears, and so on. Okay? Now, how it works. I want you to notice the things that I'm going to use here. Let's see. Let's see the JavaScript code here. You have the function here, and it says show or hide. Then I'm going to add these curly brackets and make it this if is going to be the contractor, okay, because this ID that I have here in jQuery is going to represent this web control, and I use this ID. I use the contractor, then I get the control of this, and then I ask the value if it is equal 1, because this value is this one, yes. So if it is yes here, equal 1, I'm going to introduce this as contractor name, then point, and then show. Else, I'm going to use this contractor name and hide it. Okay, then I say show or hide description. This one I'm calling the function, but this function is going to have an event, and it is when contractor, this drop down changes. I'm going to apply this show or hide description, and there you have the JavaScript is ready to use. Well, we're going to have a lot of examples tomorrow on JavaScript. Okay, this is not the only one. You're going to see a lot of examples, but at least this is the game that we are going to follow. Let me do one example more. Okay, what do you think? One example more, or we can make the review? I think that we are on time to make the review so we can check all the topics that we have seen today. Is that correct? Okay, I'm going to make one example more. I'm going to edit this, erase all of this. Okay, I'm going to write another code here. I'm going to write another function. This one is going to be show or hide description. Then I'm going to make this if. Then you have if here contractor. Then you have the get control here. The value is this one. We close it. We open curly brackets, and then we enter this class, the form. Then I find the contractor name. This one. Then dot CSS. Okay. And then the background color. The library that I use here is jQuery. That is the library that I use. Okay. So it's going to be the background color. It's going to be FF6600. Then move it here. They make some else here. Then you have the contractor name. Then point CSS here. Background color. When you have this, and you have the show or hide description here, and again some code here below. Then make the change here and use it show or hide. Okay, I prefer to copy this, it's better. Use it here, and there you have. I'm going to save it. And there you have the changes by using that. What it means, same concept. This is the function, and I'm going to obtain the contractor ID. It means this one. When the contractor ID is received, I'm going to see if it's yes, equal to 1. Then I enter the form, I say a fine here, and then I need the contractor name, this one. The contractor name is this. This is the ID. Notice that I use the IDs in this case. Contractor name, and then I'm going to apply this CSS where I'm going to modify the core word if necessary. Okay, I'm going to make that change of color. Okay, or else this one, I'm going to use the contractor name here. CSS background color is going to be blue. I call the function and then I make the execution and triggering code. Okay, triggers the code in that sense. Do you understand this part? I think that yes, it's not hard to understand for you. Of course, you are a developer, so no problem about that. Yeah, and it's basically that's the JavaScript. Do you have any question? Okay, so today I'm going to follow. I'm going to make a review. Okay, and tomorrow we are going to have the labs about that. I'm going to provide you the lab of JavaScript, PHP, and the process configuration. The 3 things you are going to do the lab. Okay, now let me make the review of everything. Let's begin. We started with this report. I'm going to make the review. And we check the strategic dashboard. And in here we enter these properties. The dashboard title, the description, and finally here I add an owner information, the administrator. It is this one. Below I add some indicators that you can find: employee efficiency, the index status, the process efficiency. All these indicators are going to be relevant and important to show you how it works, how we can behave with this information, Well, let me tell you that the KPI really works when you have a lot. Well, it does work very well when you have a big amount of data, but unfortunately I don't have right now in the server that amount of data, so I'm trying to show you what I have. Okay. Okay, so just that it's okay. So okay, so that's the point. You use the employee efficiency, the inbox status, and then the process efficiency. So the three indicators are going to show me a measure, they are going to show me a metric, and when I start to use them, if I go to KPIs, it's going to show me this, the inbox status, employee efficiency index. These metrics are going to show me important things about the status of the things. Okay, so that's the KPI. Now the acronym means key performance indicator. Remember that we use this acronym, it reminds us to use it as key performance indicator, because you are going to find a lot of metrics with that, and then you can start playing with that, with the key performance indicators. So any question you have for this small? Okay, I'm going to move now with the review of data reporting tools. First of all, data reporting tools, let me remind you that it is a plugin. It is an enterprise plugin, and it is this one. Okay, then you go to home. When that plugin is enabled, you go to home. You're going to see that there is a scope, a report designer, and a report user. So you have the three of them. Okay, so you can use each one of them. It can be the scope, the report designer, and the report user. What does it mean, this? The report uh, that you have there, the scope means that I'm going to prepare a set of data from which I'm going to do some reports. The report designer, on the other hand, is the we use a report for this. Okay, and the report designer, what it does is it provides you tools to design your own report. The report user, on the other hand, it uses the possibility to get access to the information that we require. That's the report user. Now, what we have done is to go first to the report user, the report scope. So if we click on this, first we declare the definition, the sales scope, and we set the scope description. This is a sales scope. That is basically the scope that we want to create. This, when we click to next, we select a table, and it is this one. It's the selected tables here. You click on here, and there you have. You can, by doing that, by clicking on that part, what you try to do is to select all the fields, all the columns of the table that I have selected. You have to select here the table. Now, once that the table is selected, you can apply some filters if necessary to create even another subset of information. Okay? This is good if you have a big amount of data. So you can see that there are many conditions here. There you have. Let me remind you that there is an SQL to also write this type of to write everything. Not you can use all of this as a way to collect the information, because you can write your own query here. Okay, you can write your own query, or you can use the wizard. The wizard is another one. Then you are going to have some filters that you can add. The select table. Well, I have said that. And when you select another table, it's possible to use a join here. You can make the use of a join, and that one is this one. Okay. Then you have the report users, and you have these the employees and the administrator, both of them. Okay, and both of them are going to be participants for the report. Then you go here to the report designer, and by selecting this, it means that this user is going to be able to design the process. Okay, design the report, excuse me. In the report designer, you're going to find all of this. Okay, and let's make a brief tour of this. The definition, I'm going to select the scope, the set of data from which I'm going to extract data for the report. Then you have the report name and the report description. You have some tables, and the tables that you have used for that scope are going to be this: the quantity, the customer name, the priority, the month, and the product name. Then you have the filters. The filters are going to be this column, and the value is going to be December. Then I'm going to use this report user, and here I'm going to make something as the manager of a group called employees, and this is going to be the user. Okay, then you have a gadget here. The gadget means that it's a representation of the data, so you can have table, chart, and so on. So it's up to you, and depending on the configurations that you have, you can make the preview here and see your data. Okay, just see your data. Let me remind you that it's possible to use this type of drag and drops to create some previews. Okay, then the report user is where the user is going to see his own report. It can be exported as Excel, as PDF, as CSV, okay? Or even the chart is going to have a different composition and behavior, okay? So both things are going to be needed in this case. There you have. Okay, what else more? We check this part, this one, and if you remember, I created two. Well, we entered the part of input documents and output documents. So in this part, I mentioned that in input document, I'm going to introduce all these parameters, and that's exactly what it happens. All these parameters are going to be used to include something. Okay, so um, you can have the title, the document type, the format, and the description here. The enabled version is yes. The destination path is this one. So I'm trying to enter all this information because these are like the directives to enter file. So I'm going to have a file with these attributes. Okay. Then the tag is going to be a search. This is easy for searching this input document. Okay. Now let's see the output document. No difference. The output document. It is this one. And first of all, I'm going to add all of this: the title, the file name generated, the description. All of this is the output document. Then I'm going to find this: the report generator, the media, the orientation, the margin. All of this is the output document. Okay, so I am entering all this information, output document, and there you have. Here you have the orientation with the margins here, the same as here. Output document to generate. I am defining some features that need to be recognized for the creation of this output document. Finally, an additional thing of output documents, you can use some HTML code. This is the code editor, and in this you can use the case variables, the system variables. It's an HTML, so you can use tables, whatever. So there are many things that you can do by using the tables, all the information that you have here. So just that. Well, so input and output documents have the same nature with Dynaforms because they are steps of a task. Okay, they are steps of a task. I have shown you when running all of them. So these are the steps that we use in Process Maker. Now, finally, I'm going to see another. This one is the Dynaform that I have used. Finally, today we saw a brief introduction into JavaScript. So I played basically with a code, not a difficult code, because what I try to do here is to use some jQuery. So I obtain the value of contractor, and contractor, this ID through the syntax of jQuery, is going to be represented here. Then I'm going to see if that value is 1. When this value is 1, I'm going to change the background color. It is something that you have seen. Then I'm going to use the else here and apply all of this, and the background color is going to be blue. Then you have the show or hide description, contractor dot change show or hide description. Okay, so you can use that. Okay, the JavaScript allows you to manipulate the behavior. It's an object programming language, so it's going to allow you to manipulate the behavior of um, the objects that you can find there. And it's basically that's the nature that it uses. Okay, that's the JavaScript. And well, on the next tomorrow, I'm going to show you more examples on JavaScript because I have many of them. Even I'm going to show you an example with Ajax and asynchronous request. Well, just that. Tomorrow I'm going to do that demo for you. Okay. So is everything clear, Ariel, Christian? Is everything clear until now? Okay. Okay, so that's fine. Um, this is the last part of this session of today. Tomorrow we are going to be at well, for people who are going to be in the schedule of -4 hours GMT. Okay, -4 hours is going to be 10. We are going to start at 10. Okay, for the rest of the people, I know people from Philippines, they have a schedule change, so yeah, they are going to start from, it's going to be 12, the same. But for the rest of the people, just look at that. We are going to start at 10. It's actually that we have here in the dashboard. Let me see. Yes. These schedules are going to be, just let me see. The schedule has a change. Yeah, it's going to be 10. Okay, so we are going to start at 10 for the rest of the people. Okay? Well, thanks all for all. Bye bye. Okay, what do you want, Ria? Yes, 10 p.m. on Sunday. On Sunday, we are going to follow the same schedule. Okay? Just follow your schedules that you have. You're going to start on Sunday. Tomorrow is going to be 10 again. Okay, bye bye. See ya. I'm just closing the things here. Okay, bye. I'm closing the schedule. Bye bye.